Leadership was not. I also thought very seriously about going back to the law firm where I used to work. Had it not been for a #MeToo moment I experienced right before my departure, I probably would have returned to work there. I didn't want to start over at another firm, so I decided to start my own business. My parents owned a business for 15 years, and I grew up in an entrepreneurial world. I knew that business ownership would be in the cards for me at some point, though I thought it would be much later in life. I decided to start a bakery and was accepted to a pastry school in New York City. I spent hours dreaming about school, the recipes I would develop, and the certainty of an eventual James Beard Award. I even landed a short internship at a hip and trendy restaurant in San Francisco near where my brother lived, and I used a week of vacation to go there and work. I was so certain of my future that I gave Steve my notice before leaving for San Francisco. Do you see where this is going? I knew within hours of starting the internship that I had made a mistake. Working in a restaurant is grueling work. The long hours, standing on your feet all day, producing the same desserts somebody else invented, was not for me. It felt nothing like the dream I had envisioned. But I had a bigger problem: saving my job. I called Steve as soon as work ended and explained the situation. He was very understanding, excited to have me return to the job nobody knew I left. I wish everybody a boss like Steve. Although I was thankful to still have a job, I was back at square one. My burnout worsened, and along with it came high levels of anxiety. As a result, I started to get panic attacks that came weekly, sometimes daily. In addition, the high levels of stress caused such severe stomach aches that I ended up in the emergency room twice. I saw more than a half-dozen doctors. None of them mentioned burnout or work or even asked how I was doing generally in life. I was at a point where if someone had asked me how I was doing, I would have burst into tears. This would have revealed the truth I had been keeping a secret because I didn't want to be perceived as a weak lawyer who couldn't hack it. My last day practicing law was June 24th, 2009. A few months before that, I stumbled on an article that described exactly how I felt. Until that point, I had not really known what burnout was, how it started, or why it had crept up on me. At that moment, though, I knew studying it was my path forward. Recovering from burnout, interviewing others about their burnout experiences, coaching clients, teaching and training thousands of people, and studying the evolving and increasingly pervasive research have informed what I know burnout to be and, importantly, how it is prevented. My dedication to helping other people led me eventually to create the Stress and Resilience Institute, where we focus on building practical strategies for companies who want to lessen the effects of burnout on their employees and build a more resilient, thriving, and engaged workplace. Burnout amid a new normal. Workplaces have long been stressful, but COVID-19 has raised the stakes. The pace of the modern workplace has sped up, and the work itself has become more complex. It's difficult for any one person to have the skills and expertise needed to meet the number of challenges your business partners, patients, and clients want solved. In addition, parents are trying to balance homeschooling kids with working. Generally, people are coping with not being able to see friends and family and worrying about their health and well-being, celebrate milestones, or even pause 5 minutes to come up for air. Burnout has become one of the most talked about workplace topics, and its impact is far-reaching. The already present 24/7 pace of work, a pandemic, a movement for racial equality, record unemployment, and a contentious election have combined to create a tsunami of stress, much of it feeling as though it's outside of your control. But there is help, and you don't have to go it alone.